This is Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome inside Kenneth M. Robbins Stadium. We're in Loyalsock, Lycoming County. Tonight is the Battle of the Bridge, a Heartland Conference showdown between Montoursville and Loyalsock. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide, and welcome to week number 5 of high school football. Joining me, longtime area coach Jan Secek. Paul Grippy will be on the sidelines and join me shortly. Coach, a couple years ago, this game used to be played last game of the season. They moved it to a mid-season classic, but it's still a game you throw out the records.
You have to. With this rivalry, in all of Northeast Pennsylvania, especially in the Heartland, this game goes back 20 years, Bob, and it just doesn't matter when they play it. It's always going to be that way. A great rivalry.
Montoursville comes in undefeated, the 6th-ranked 3A team in the state. They are on a roll, but it looks like they found their tailback of the future in sophomore Rocco Polizzi, our Toyota Spotlight player of the game.
Rocco Polizzi has carried that offense on his legs, 11 yards a carry, and 6 touchdowns this year as a sophomore, and his future looks very bright with the offensive linemen that they have coming up.
Loyalsock is on a 3-game winning streak after their opening season loss to a very good North Schuylkill team. Their offense is on the move up. Main reason why? A guy that hasn't played since middle school, Reese Watkins, our other Toyota Spotlight player of the game.
6'2", 180 pounds. He's concentrated on basketball the last few years, and he just wanted that itch to play football, and he's doing a tremendous job. 4 touchdowns this year for him, and he's Chase Kavanaugh's #1 receiver.
Another beautiful night for high school football in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Let's check in now with the weather with Allie Dubicki from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Hey there, Bob. It's been a gorgeous week across the area, and tonight is no exception. Perfect to throw the pigskin around. We're looking at a kickoff temperature near 70 degrees. It's going to stay comfortable but cool as the night progresses. As we head towards the end of the game, temperatures will drop near 62, but we're dry across the board. Won't have to worry about any precipitation. We'll have a look at your forecast later in the game. We'll send it back to you on the field.
Thank you, Allie. We are set for the Battle of the Bridge. It's Montoursville and Loyalsock next.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
A full house at Loyalsock tonight for the Battle of the Bridge. Both towns out and supporting their high school football teams. And one of the more unique trophies that we've seen in our coverage of Friday Night Rivals will be given out after the game. And to show off that, let's go down to Paul now on the sidelines.
Hey, Bob, we have a honest-to-goodness rivalry midway through the season, Loyalsock and Montoursville, and they're playing for this puppy right here. It is the Cross Creek Rivals Battle of the Bridge Trophy, weighs about 7 pounds, lists the past results of these games. Reflective of the bridge, it's got the yellow line down the middle. It's got Loyalsock on this side, Montoursville on this side. They started this back up in 2005, so that's 14 playings. Montoursville has won 8 of those, but in the last 10, the series is 5-5. Their one playoff meeting, that went to Montoursville. So tonight's winner gets to keep this and to display this for the entire year, show it off at their school, and they will celebrate with this after the game. And we'll also present our own Allied Services FNR trophy. These two teams separated by just a bridge, and they're going to settle it on the football field tonight. Bob?
As I said, the bridge might as well be the size of the Golden Gate tonight because these two teams, well, it's a rivalry game. They don't like each other, and I'm just glad Jan Paul didn't drop the trophy that we would have to buy a new one.
And how do we explain that to the public?
I don't know how we explain it to the boss.
Paul Grippy.
Okay, well, Montoursville won the toss. They deferred, so that means Loyalsock will get the ball, and teeing it up for our Keystone College kickoff tonight will be number 11, Colin Guarini. He's a senior with a pretty good leg who has expectations of playing at the next level. Back to receive, Ryan Glunk and Joe Schur. And we are all set here on a beautiful night for high school football, a mid-season classic, they're calling it. And why not? It's a big rivalry, and we are underway in the Battle of the Bridge. And a flag comes in, and they will have to re-kick. So all that excitement Jan, for a re-kick, and you know the adrenaline has to be flowing on both sides.
And it is really difficult to refocus the kids because you got everything going. You got one play. Some of those kids only get the one time out here. Now they're unfortunate to do it again, and you lose that edge.
There are referees tonight. Tom Gibble, we'll hear from him tonight. So they'll back them up 5 yards. And I guess that one of the questions is, as we take a look at it for the kickoff, how do you control emotions in a game like this and not make stupid plays?
That's the hardest thing to do as a high school coach because they are high school kids. They're teenagers. And especially now with Instagram and Twitter, and you know there's been banter back and forth between both teams.
Let's do this one more time. Guarini taking his steps. Both bands getting psyched up, playing the drums. And the bands are ready. We are the bridge game, take 2.
Deeper kick.
Deep kick. Taken by number 13, Ryan Glunk. Glunk brings it up. And we'll take a look at Chase Cavanaugh. His first year under center. He did play some games last year. And boy, they can throw the ball around. 823 yards, 8 touchdowns, Jan, and just 3 interceptions.
Bob, I know speaking with Coach, he was very excited about this young man and his composure and how much he's improved in reading the defenses.
And he's not a big kid. He's listed at 6 foot, but I'll tell you, standing next to him, he's more like 5'8", and he is a southpaw. He's a lefty. But he has real good accuracy and very good smarts to play the position. So he will start in the shotgun. Behind him will be freshman Davion Hill. Hill taken behind the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle by Dylan Bennett. Now your starting lineups brought to you by Quad A Driving Academy. Here you see Cavanaugh, Hill, and Simone Mileto will be the fullback. The wide receivers, well, they're brand new, a lot of them. Nolan Damiano on the outside has 114 yards catching. We talked about Reese Watkins. Watch out for Aiden Gare. And up front, pretty big, kind of young, couple seniors in there, mostly juniors and sophomores. Jeffrey Hamilton's in the middle at 285. Cavanaugh loses the ball. We have a fumble. And it's recovered by Loyalsock.
On this replay, he's just getting his feet set, looking, and again, you talked about the nerves there, Bob, earlier, and that's a classic case right there.
So Loyalsock lucky to get that ball back, and 3rd and long on the way. Gonna set it up top for Watkins, makes the catch, and to get a foot in. He did not, he was out of bounds, but a great catch. Lancers will punt.
Chase Cavanaugh's pass intended for Reese Watkins. Defended on the play by Logan Ott.
On this replay, you'll see that he has his feet set, and that left hand puts the ball at a different spin, but Reese does a nice job getting downfield, adjust, but just a little bit outside.
Good push out of bounds by Dylan Mull. So Montoursville should get very good field position to begin their possession. Vanderveer to kick. High hanging, fair catch caught at the Loyalsock 46. Hunter Shear underneath center. 2-year starter, did play a little bit as a sophomore, and boy, he can throw the ball around. They haven't had to throw the ball around this year, Jan, but he has 198 yards, 20 attempts, 4 touchdowns. But last year, he threw for over 2,200 yards. And get this, 30 touchdowns.
And what do? They come back with a great running game this year to open up that pass game for him. What a threat they have in the backfield.
The defending District 4 3A champs. Logan Ott through. Boy, give the senior 10, maybe 9. So that's Palizzi who gets it. So Palizzi gets the start. That is the sophomore that we talked about. Give him 9. Quick toss to Palizzi. great tackle shooting in Simone Mileto, but a first down for the Warriors.
The Warriors opened up in this tight spread formation, and with the slot and the split end actually came in on that play. They did what we call a fold block.
One of the things I know you're looking at, Coach, is the battle up front. What do you see?
I'll tell you what, if you go position by position, Bob, on these, they're almost identical. 285, 260, and almost the same with the freshman and the sophomore on each side.
Hot little jet sweep comes up through. Montoursville, we'll get to that in a second. So let's take a look at now the Quad A Driving Academy starters. Hunter Shear back there with CJ Signor is the big fullback. He's number 47. A lot of youth on the outside and the wide receivers. Cam Wood, we'll talk more about him, is only his second year playing as a tight end. And up front, as Coach mentioned, they're pretty big up front. They average around 270. Right in the middle, Stoner is returning to center, 285 senior. Quick pitch to Belizzi. Gets outside, up for another Montoursville first down.
On this replay, all they do is the offensive linemen are stepping left, toss left. Polizzi does a nice job with the stiff arm right there. Loyalsock then comes up with a solid hit on him.
What a beginning for this Warrior team, averaging 48 points per game, 346 total yards per game. They have definitely picked up where they left off last year. Hot up for a couple.
Bob, you were saying about earlier how these kids are going to keep the emotions in check. Montoursville looks like a very veteran team out there, which they are, and they're just taking it one down. They know what their jobs are, and they're going to execute.
One thing J.C. Kiefer was talking about in the offseason, especially after their loss in states to Prep, where they were manhandled, we needed to be a tougher team. Every man I talked to said we're a much tougher team this year.
They are, and their schedule is going to reflect it, too. They're picking Southern Columbia up.
Shear to Cam Wood, touchdown. It's a Blaze Alexander touchdown for Montoursville of 24 yards.
On this replay, Cam Wood is just he's just dragging across, and he became wide open. Nobody picked him up, and he just walked in for the touchdown for his 5th of the year.
Second touchdown catch of the year for the 6'4" senior, which there are scouts here looking at tonight, and Paul will have more on him a little bit later on. So Wood takes in the first TD.
Plankenhorn on the extra point.
Stiff kick from him. It is up and it is through. So 8:37 left in the first. The Warriors take the early 7-0 lead in the Battle of the Bridge. An impressive 6-play, 46-yard drive. Montoursville takes the early lead, 7-0, and a very impressive drive, Jan. A lot of runs, play action, a wide open tight end.
I'll tell you what, Montoursville, Bob, you said, is picking up right where they left off last year. But what gave them great field position was when the quarterback just slipped out of his hands. Let's see how Loyalsock responds, because they're a very well-coached, very disciplined team.
But a very young team at this big games. They have a lot of talent. So Gorini again. This one back as Hill was back to receive it, and it will be a touchback for Loyalsock.
Imagine getting a nurse's aide scholarship and tuition assistance while getting paid as a CNA. Allied Services has excellent career opportunities for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs. Visit allied-services.org/careers today.
So Kavanaugh brings them out. Henriquez, number 9, and Davian Hill, number 1, getting set for with a Blaze Alexander first down. Henriquez with some open space. His first carry of the season, and it's a big one into Montoursville territory. 41-yard.
On this play, they just go with the inside zone, and what was impressive was the freshman, Davian Hill, who they bid on. Montoursville bid, which opened that up, and that was a great read by their quarterback.
Mackay, his first series of this season. He's been injured at the beginning of the year. And boy, what a first start for him. And they give it back to Hill for a couple more yards. Boy, that's a great feeling when it's your first carry and you're going for 41 yards.
Talk about getting the butterflies out really quick. That's a tremendous job. The offensive line did a real nice job stepping to the right side to open that up.
Loyalsock started the season with a loss to North Schuylkill. Last week, they ended it on a 3-game winning streak for Justin Van Fleet's team. They beat Bloomsburg last week 48-14. And over the year, they've gaining on this offense. Suddenly, this offense averages over 358 yards per game, putting up 29 points per game.
And that's very nice, and I know Coach Van Fleet is really concerned more about his defense tonight because they've been giving up 22 points a game.
Justin Van Fleet is 8th season. No flag. There was a little bit of movement. They try to run Kavanaugh. He gets knocked down for a couple. That's about it. They will run Kavanaugh. I mean, he's run for 193 yards, and they will run him a lot.
And he has 8 touchdowns on this play. They're just trying to set up that quarterback keep. And Montoursville's defense is pretty stout up front. The 4 down linemen they have are good size. We're 285. We're talking 240. We're talking 200-pound defensive ends flying in.
So another big 3rd down for the Lancers here early in the first. Trying that sweep for Glunk. Read easily by Logan Ott, who shoots in. And also
Dylan Mall.
Yep. And Zachary
on this speed sweep. They sniffed that out, and they just came up, and that's the way you stop the speed sweep, is bring outside pressure.
So a 4th down decision inside Warrior territory for the coach, and he will go for it on 4th down. Three wideouts and a wing. Time for Kavanaugh. Nice comeback route.
Short.
Good catch by Keon Burkholder, but short of the 1st down.
And right here, they go with it. They go with the comeback route. And I know he was getting coached up at the end, and coach told him, make sure you get to the sticks and then come back.
Warrior offense back on the field after their first drive netted a touchdown. And the team that has scored a lot of touchdowns this year, Coach, we are all surprised when they won that Hughesville game 66-0. But a lot of things went their way.
Everything went their way that night. All 3 phases of the game, and Hughesville's coach was just beside himself because it was Murphy's Law in action that evening.
Stick with a run, a yard for Polizzi. Let's take a look now at the Quad A Driving Academy starting lineup for the defense of Loyalsock that gives up 20 points per game. Polar Oakley and Perlante are up front. 4 linebackers in there, including Mileto, who has 37 tackles on the year, and Gare with 29. And the secondary, we have a freshman in there, Ryan Klunk. He has 18 tackles on the season. Polizzi shoots through for about 6, 3rd down on the way. Shifty kid.
He is, and watch this on this play. Their right guard, number 59, the guard, Felipa, he does what we call a bucket step. He drops back, he's giving ground to gain ground, and he set that up beautifully for him to run that ball.
Looks like we're seeing multiple formations, too, from the Warriors. Have you noticed that?
They're going to try to outflank right now Loyalsock, trying to get that one man to overlap.
Whistle down, and it looks like we have a timeout called by Montoursville. J.C. Keeper walks onto the field. Gonna have a word for Tom Gibble. 5:05 remaining in the first quarter. The Warriors up 7-0. Time now to take a look at some keys to the game, brought to you by Grotto Pizza. First for Montoursville, you want to keep Watkins to some short plays and control the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's what we say week in and week out, and that sounds very cliche, but that's where it all starts for the offense and the defensive lines. If you can do your job there, it's going to take care of itself to allow those skill kids to show what they do best.
For Loyalsock, boy, it's very similar.
He knows that they can control the line of scrimmage. He wants their line play to be perfect tonight. And again, he wants great field position, and he had that on the first drive.
Montoursville back third down into the eye. Pitch to Belizzi. He is the first down and more to open space inside Loyalsock territory, knocked down at the 34-yard line.
They set this up to run like an inside zone, and then he bounces it. Now watch his ball handling. He went from his right hand to his left hand, which is a coaching point because he's going down the left sideline.
That's a Blaze Alexander first down for Montoursville, a run of 29 yards for the sophomore. Once again, the Warriors knocking on the door inside Lancer territory for the second straight time.
Solid.
Knocked behind the line of scrimmage. Big number 75. Looks like Malachi Parlante.
6'2", 250-pound junior. He saw that and he just lights out. Number 7, Corey Mayer on that for Loyalsock took on that fullback, and really exploded that to allow Malachi to make that great hit.
3 tackles for a loss coming in. That is a no gain, so that'll go as a tackle. His 12th of the season for the 250-pound junior. This is where the Lancer defense really needs to settle in now, get a stop. They'll start right there at the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1. Host of players in there, Aiden Gare, and it looks like Mileto on the bottom.
Well, those 2 inside linebackers for Loyalsock are tremendous. They've been playing for 3 years, and their experience is showing.
2 seniors. How about Gare, 121 career tackles, coach, and how many does Mileto have in his career?
134.
Not too bad.
That's tremendous. Those guys get a lot of action, but that's how their defense is set up. They'll allow those linebackers to make the tackles.
Lancers need to get off the field on defense. They're going to go long, try to get Bennett, dives, and makes the catch inside the 5. It's a Blaze Alexander first down, first and goal Warriors.
They go with the fake toss to try to get the linebackers to freeze, and a D-back, that's great coverage. And again, that's a tremendous effort by Bennett and Montoursville.
Bennett's first catch of the season, and it's a big one. Gets him inside the Allied Services red zone, knocking on the door. The fullback, Signor. No signal yet. Looks like he's a little bit short, about a half yard.
Center Jacob Stoner, 5'11", 285-pound senior, got up a little slow. They come right back with no huddle.
Sneak by the quarterback. Touchdown, Montoursville. The second Blaze Alexander touchdown of the night for the Warriors.
Good. For a Warrior touchdown.
Right, here we go. Quarterback sneak, number 54, 285 pounds. Jacob Stoner does a nice job digging that out, staying low. He did a nice submarine technique for an offensive lineman to allow his quarterback to go over top.
Another impressive drive, 69 yards, coach, 8 plays. Took off about 5 minutes on the clock, and the big play was that catch by Dylan Bennett. Blankenhorn, again, the strong leg is up and through, and it's been all Montoursville in this first quarter in the Battle of the Bridge.
Here we go. There's that fake toss, and this is just perfect ball placement. The concentration on Bennett to look that ball in. And it was great coverage by number 8 for Loyalsock, Darius Williams.
What have you liked what you saw so far from the Warriors?
What's that?
What have you liked so far from the Warriors?
The Warriors, their offensive play calling tonight has been 50-50, pass and run, and they really are dominating that offensive line of scrimmage. Loyalsock has come up tough and stopped them, but not enough.
So there you see Coach Kiefer, looking at the iPad, looking at the last play. So a lot of technology being used even in high school football.
That's Huddle Sideline, which is a program that every high school coach uses now to exchange films. Before, we used to literally carry the films with us, and it was VHS tapes, and then it was the cards. Now everything's right there, and you get instant replay with this, which is amazing, and it helps your young athletes see what we're telling them as coaches, what we're seeing.
Guarini again now. Teeing it up. Now it's funny, Guarini was 24-24 on PATs, but he hasn't kicked the point after tonight.
No, I don't know. Maybe he's just concentrating on his kickoffs.
Yeah. Hill picks it up from the 2. The freshman brings it up past the 15 to the 17, and now the Loyalsock Lancers come out trailing by 14 here in only the first quarter.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by the legendary taste of Grotto Pizza, a Northeastern Pennsylvania favorite since 1953. Order online now at www.grottopizzapa.com.
Young, talented Loyalsock team trailed in only one game this year against North Schuylkill. They lost that game. Let's see if they can come back and just calm things down as Hill brings it up for a couple, maybe 3 at best.
You're looking at their offensive line going back into their huddle right now, and they only have one senior out there, and that's Malachi Parlente. They have 3 juniors and a sophomore, and their sophomore they have is 5'9", 300 pounds, playing right tackle.
They got to the 21, 2nd and 6.
Loyalsock going up with the top defense in District 4. They average giving up only 9 points per game as Hill is taken out on a wrestling move almost by number 74, Travis Johnson.
Montoursville's defense on this play, they just come in. He does a great job to beat number 55 on the block and then just lassoing him for the tackle. What I was going to say, Montoursville's defense, Bob, reminds me of how Scranton Prep's defense has been the last 2 years. Big and physical.
Low pass can't be brought in by Schur, and the punt team back out now for Loyalsock. They had one big play so far, and that's about it for Loyalsock. Other than that, you can't get anything against this Montoursville defense.
Right now, the defensive line is just being so much more physical with that young, inexperienced offensive line they've had.
Guerin now to punt, averaging 39 yards. Oh, this is a high, and this is going to be real short. It's going to take a bounce the other way. Oh, Montoursville will have Excellent field position at the Loyalsock 39. That's not what you want to do if you're Loyalsock.
Not. And you know right now, Coach Van Fleet is feeling really frustrated, but he can't take that out on the kids. He's got to encourage them and just say, look, guys, one play at a time. Let's settle down. Let's just get a first down, and then they'll keep putting drives together.
So Loyalsock defense on their heels now. Not making really any stops against a very good Warrior offense. This time, Shearer goes into the shotgun. Quick pitch to Polizzi. Nice speed for 6.
That's that same formation they came out with in the first series, the tight, and they go with the toss. Again, the full block between the split end and the slot man.
The linebacker Mileto comes over to make the play. But pretty much, Loyalsock can't figure out what is next from the Warriors.
Well, you know who's going to get the ball, Polizzi or Ott.
Nice job there. Perlante in. Short gain, 3rd down on the way. That should be the last play of the first quarter. They'll roll off the clock, and J.C. Kiefer, well, his team wants to keep the trophy that they took last year. Right now, they're well on their way. It's 14-0 Warriors after 1.
Start of the second quarter, Montoursville leads Loyalsock 14-0. Prior to the game, we presented our Figured Law Firm Scholar Athletes of the game. And let's meet those two scholars right now. First for Loyalsock, Alex Reed. He is a member of both the soccer and cross-country teams in the fall, a medalist in cross-country, also a medalist on the track team. He's the class president. His class rank is #1. He performed a service trip in Ecuador, involved in many activities, but the one that I'm most impressed with, he has a pilot's license. Most teenagers just want an automobile's license. He's flying airplanes. As for Montoursville, it's Colin Guarini, a kicker for the Warriors. He has a 4.0 GPA, member of the National Honor Society, Future Business Leaders of America, the Physics Club, Penn College Youth Leadership as well. So thank you, Colin, and thank you, Alex. Thank you to the Figured Law Firm for presenting our Figured Law Firm Scholar Athletes. Bob, two very smart, impressive young men.
Very impressive young man. We've seen Guarini kick off, and we met Alex before the game as well. We're back, 3rd down and short, and boy, it's the fullback, Signor, who shoots through, picks up a first down at the 21, and they pick off where they left off in the first quarter, Jan Sicek.
And on that, at the end of the quarter, Coach was really disciplining his kids, telling them to be more disciplined and play more aggressive. On that play, Loyalsock gambled with the blitz. The backer came in, missed, and that what sprung that for the first down.
They call him CJ, and I'll pronounce his name as Calagrio. It's a nice Italian name, and I apologize, I butchered it. We'll call him CJ.
That's what the coaches told us.
So we're inside the Allied Services red zone again. It was a Blaze Alexander first down as Polizzi gets the toss. Cuts inside to the 10.
On this replay, you're going to see the entire offensive line stay to the left. The most important thing is that key block by CJ Signor up top that takes on that full outside linebacker to spring Polizzi to that outside.
I think they're just short of a first, so I think they'll bring it out and measure, though.
And we have
an injured player for Loyalsock. So that's what take a timeout for. Williams, or is that
Enriquez?
That's Enriquez, Mike High, who had that nice catch. He's cramping up, of course. This is his first game. We talked about that. So he doesn't have that those football legs yet. So maybe he's cramping up. It was a long day.
And he's got his hands cut out for him, trying to defend Bennett out there.
So very impressive so far with the Montoursville team, ranked 6th in the state, looking for another district title, and they want a lot more in 3A this year, and they have a shot. And boy, you see Justin Van Fleet still coaching his team, walking back. He is like trying to urge them on to play tougher.
And he knows that the Lancers can do it. They just got to start to believe in themselves because they are playing a very powerful team in Montoursville.
You can't keep giving Montoursville a short field, though. That's been
all 3 drives.
Yeah, so far.
The only thing that will do is make Montoursville not have great stats tonight.
Inside the Allied Services red zone. To Signor. In for another Blaze Alexander Montoursville touchdown. Signor is 2nd touchdown of the season. We do have a flag down.
They just go
ahead.
I was just going to say they run a quick fullback trap.
They ran the fullback trap, but we got a flag. It was a legal motion against Montoursville. Bring it back. A break there for Loyalsock. That will push the ball back to the 16, closer to the 17-yard line for 2nd down.
And if we look at Montour's offensive line, right now they have a freshman at the right tackle and a sophomore at the right guard.
Shear, plenty of room to run if he wants. No, he's going to whip it to the end zone. Trying to hit number 8 again. Bennett threw it away.
And you're going to see on this replay that the right side of the offensive line actually ran to the left side. They pulled like a counter tray motion, trying to get the defensive flow. And Bennett was actually open earlier, and it's hard for the quarterback who's rolling and running for his life to try to see every receiver downfield.
Dylan Young also in the vicinity, and not sure who was supposed to be where, but it's 3rd down. And again, I keep saying another big 3rd down for the Lancers. They need to get off the field on 3rd. Belizzi tripped up, 4th down on the way.
On that play, they just ran an ISO where the fullback's leading up for the tailback.
Dane Armson on the tackle for Loyalsock.
And Bob, you said that Loyalsock had to come up big, and they just did.
Well, they have one more play to do it. What do we do? What are you doing here? Field goal?
No.
Not the way you're running it,
no,
right?
No, Coach Kiefer's, no. The intensity in his eyes before the game and even during the second quarter so far, this short second quarter, he wants it all.
They're going to kick it, so what do you know?
That's why I'm up here with you, Bob.
Looks like Blankenhorn in. Set at the 21 to be a 31-yard field goal, but Coach Kiefer, he's still mulling it over. Maybe he heard you.
Maybe, or maybe he's trying to ice his own kicker.
I hope not.
I don't think I'm surprised. I really am. I thought with the way his offensive line's playing and dominating that he would get after this. But, hey, he's a defending district champion. He wants to go deeper in states this year.
Well, the Warriors picked up again. They lost last year to Prep in states, and then they went on a run this year. They basically have dominated teams early on. Jersey Shore came in undefeated. Warrior Run had 1 loss. They actually didn't play that well against Warrior Run.
They didn't play until the late 3rd quarter. That's when they scored their points. And that's the lowest scoring game that we can see. They only scored 4 touchdowns that game compared to 8 or 9.
Really, if you look at the schedule, maybe 3 tough games left right in the middle, Danville, Mifflinburg, and then, of course, they're playing Southern Columbia.
Yeah. And if I can coin your phrase, Bob, the University of Southern Columbia.
Well, you have 4 or 5 guys going Division I. It really is there. Very impressive.
And that's going to give Montoursville a great test in how good they are this year, because they're not going to see anybody better than Southern Columbia.
Shearer, the holder, tees it up at the 21. Again, a 31-yard field goal attempt from Ian Blankenhorn, the senior. Snaps good, kicks good, got the leg, and he has the distance. So Montoursville tacks on 3 more. Blankenhorn puts it straight through, and the Warriors cash in on another short drive. So 9:56 left in the first. Again, that drive started 39-yard line. Goes, what, a couple 20 yards or something, but nice kick. And, hey, that's a weapon later on in the year.
And maybe that's what coach is. He wants to make sure that he's getting his kicker Blankenship ready for that, to make sure he can understand the pressure and deal with it. And on this side, Coach Van Fleet's got to feel, all right, a little bit of a moral victory. We stopped them. They didn't score. Okay, yes, they came away with only 3 points.
But offensively, they need to show more. They haven't got the running game going. And that's a running attack on Loyalsock that's averaging about 152 yards per game. Through the air, 205. And they need to show some offense for the Lancers. Put a nice drive together here. Put up points before the half. Montoursville will get the third quarter kick. So that's something to think about for Justin Van Fleet. His team shut out so far.
Coach Van Fleet would love to get, as Bob, as you said, a nice drive together. Let's get points on the board. Let's chew it up.
Montoursville dual kickers tonight, and another Keystone College kickoff on the way for Colin Guarini, our scholar athlete of the night as well. Strong leg on a touchback in high school. You can't bring it out, and it'll go up to the 20.
Saturday means one thing, and that's college football. Starting at 11 is the Fox College pregame show. At noon, it's a Big Ten matchup as Michigan travels to Wisconsin. The Wolverines, the higher-ranked team, though the Badgers enter Saturday's contest as the favorite. Saturday college football on Fox 56.
Should be a good one tomorrow. 1 versus 13. Not too bad for some Big Ten action. So back here, split backs next to Chase Kavanaugh. Almost picked off by Jacob Reeder, but it bounced. It might have been intended either for Henriquez or number 11 out there, Armson. And I don't know if Chase Kavanaugh didn't know. They're going to say he did. It's an interception. Let's look at it again.
On this play.
Oh,
no, the ball did bounce off the ground.
But we
don't have instant replay
No
here.
replay.
But on that, they used Davian Hill as a decoy, trying to get the linebackers to bite. And the receiver, there was just miscommunication there. He did not look back for it.
Well, that was right in front of Justin Van Fleet, and I guarantee there's no way he could be happy about that.
Right there, we see that the receiver, and then again, the diving. And again, the back judge on this side, he couldn't make it, and he led it to the line judge down here. And you know Coach Van Fleet is working that guy right now.
Another short field for Montoursville at the 35, and Coach Van Fleet's going to call a quick timeout. They started 3 drives inside Lancer territory this evening.
And that when you have a short field like that with a potent offense as Montoursville, it's very difficult to try to establish anything defensively.
There is Justin Van Fleet.
And he's talking to that official saying, hey, that wasn't right, and you know it, you should make the call. And it's very frustrating as a coach when you see it, and Bob, we saw it up here, that it did bounce off the turf. But it's high school, it's done, it's over, next play.
Why do they play this in the mid-season? Well, because both teams, we hope, are going to be going to the playoffs. They may meet in week number 11, you just don't know what happens. Right now, the 3A is Montoursville's to lose, I will say that. How about that?
And that's a heck of a, that 3A schedule, or not schedule, those teams right there, they are all strong teams. And again, we haven't seen Mifflinburg this year. We've seen Central Columbia, and we know what Danville has year in and year out.
That's why both coaches agreed to move this to mid-season. They don't want to play in week 10 and week 11, especially when the new classifications came out years ago. Warriors back at it, up by 17. Challenge met from Loyalsock.
And there he is, number 75, Malachi Parlente, doing a nice job sniffing that out and getting help from number 7, Corey Mayer. And they go, Montoursville goes with the toss that time, and you see the offensive lineman, number 74, Travis Johnson, kind of putting his hands like, oh, what happened? I thought you had him.
You need your seniors to step up in a game like this, and he did. Biggest loss of the night for Palizzi.
Again, Malachi Parlente he's been really tough on the left-hand side for the Lancers.
Shear trying to get it out to Young, goes incomplete, but a flag down. Coach thinks roughing the passer. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was saying there was a flag down. I didn't want to
you were
interrupt you,
motioning, I thought it was
saying
roughing the
flag.
passer.
Holding. White.
Boy, big holding call. You take that or do you take the down? I think you got to back them up,
I
right?
would back them up. And that was great coverage by Mike Enriquez on that. He had him covered like a glove. He did a tremendous job. Huh?
They declined it?
Coach, what do I know? Bob, I told you, I'm 0 for 2
You're 0
tonight.
for 2 tonight.
I think you're going to make me walk
Oh,
home.
no, wait, there they go. There they go. Woo! I was sweating that. I was worried for
That's
you.
a long walk, too, if you're going to make me walk that home.
So it goes back into the Warrior territory. Second down, it looks like forever. Now a chance for the Lancer defense to make a stop, get the ball back.
And if you notice, their coverage, they're playing a little bit softer now because they've got 25 yards to go.
Rush, they go down the middle, and they try to hit Young down there. Goes incomplete. Now, Shearer did throw, he said, for over 2,000 yards, 2,200 yards, 30 touchdowns. But that was with some very good receivers. He has brand new receivers this year.
He does, and you'll see he's got the time to throw. He steps up in the pocket. And again, the free safety kind of bit to the right side, which opened that up. And he just missed, and just led him a little bit too much.
For example, Dylan Young, who he was trying to get the ball to, for a career has only caught 8 passes.
And
4 of those were this year.
This year.
So very young on the outside. On the other wide, Dylan Mall caught 15 last year, and Jacob Reeder gets in there as well. So 3rd and long, set up a middle screen. Almost picked off, it goes incomplete. 4th down, upcoming. Signor slow to get up.
This is what the Lancers needed. Here we go with the little screen action. Ball was just a little high. And again, I'm surprised because Hunter knows how to throw the ball after throwing 2,000 yards last year.
First punt of the night for Gorini. Averages about 39 yards. Glunk back there to receive, along with Shear, number 13. High kick. Oh, and it goes right into someone's hands at the 12. They're lucky there.
Well, they had three Lancers were around the
Yeah.
ball, and we usually would tell them to yell poison to get away.
Sure,
That's why he
yeah.
jumped on it.
Okay, here comes the Lancer offense. Not real good field position at the 12. So you keep it on the ground?
Have to. Again, they're going to do what they do best. They're going to give the ball to Davian Hill. And I think they're going to mix it up now with Simone Mileto in there, too. Give him some honest carries. Try to keep that linebacker crew from flowing out too fast.
They've had success through their 3-game winning streak through the air. They just haven't had the field position to open it up a little bit. Do you agree with that?
I do, and and again, they haven't seen a defensive line like this tonight that they have from Montoursville.
Hill again, almost had his head ripped off.
By number 55, Will Carson, 6'4", 285 pounds. So, and he's moving more like a defensive end than a defensive tackle.
Notice Montoursville's really tried to use their speed on the outside, where Loyalsock's trying to get it in in the gaps by the guards. Try the fullback through this time. Third and long upcoming again.
Simone Mileto he's coming up a little. He looks like he's hurting a little bit.
Well, one of the two-way players for Loyalsock.
And Job Scher's coming in right now for him.
Watkins, their leading receiver, has 0 catches tonight. Loyalsock's going to call timeout, some mix-ups as well. 7:33 left. It's been all Montoursville here in the Battle of the Bridge. We'll take a quick timeout. Back at Kenneth Robbins Stadium, we are in Loyalsock, Lycoming County. The Battle of the Bridge between the Lancers and the Warriors. It's been all one-sided so far. It's been Montoursville's offense. With short fields, has put up 17 points. Big third down. Kavanaugh down the middle to his tight end, Aiden Gare. Gare with room, and Gare up to the 50.
The Lancers come out with a nice play action here. You'll see that fake to Davian Hill, and he does a great job carrying it out, which opens up Aiden Gare right there, which is what we've been waiting for. 6'3", 205 pounds. Right now, Coach Van Fleet, his kids are going to be feeling pretty good. Just keep getting those first downs, get a nice drive put together.
33-yard gain. Loyalsock now, maybe they can open up the offense a bit. They do. To Hill. Hill picks up a block and picks up 11. Nice run from the freshman.
He's got some patience when he runs the ball. You'll see this on the outside zone, and he's very patient, letting the number 55 block for him. That was Aspenstall Emming, who's the junior.
Pick up actually 12 on that. Some life now in the Loyalsock offense. A Kavanaugh. Say hello to Zachary Schmalhofer,
who is the league leading in sacks, and I'll tell you what a physical specimen, and the speed he possesses. Did a tremendous job. Brendan Hartman, the sophomore 300-pound tackle, just couldn't take it. He just got beat.
Cam Wood in there as well on the bottom. Hill lowers his shoulder on Reeder. And Bennett, third and long coming up.
And that last play for Montoursville, Cam Wood put so much pressure in, it forced Hill back inside where the rest of the defense was trailing to make that tackle.
Another third down on the way. Oh, Kavanaugh being chased and taken down. This time it was Signor with the sack. Wood follows it up, and here comes the punt team.
They go for a play action. They're going rolling right, and Signor at the linebacker spot waited and came in hard and then just shut it down.
His first sack of the year for the junior. Aiden Gare now on to punt. So some momentum taken away by that Montoursville defense. Better kick this time. Montoursville will take over around the 21. Five minutes left before halftime. Montoursville comes back out. Their worst field position of the night. Last drive, really, that holding couple of penalties stopped that. Pelizzi up for only a couple this time.
There was good pressure there by Joe Shearer, who's playing at the linebacker spot for Loyalsock.
Thought would see a lot of Logan Ott tonight. We haven't.
We haven't.
Mostly on defense.
And we thought for sure, because Coach said he's going to be getting some carries.
They fake it to him there. Well, there he is. They're going to throw it to him on a screen. Well read by Loyalsock.
Real good discipline by the Loyalsock defense, not to over pursue. Defensive linemen stopped and retraced their steps to come back.
I've lost Paul. Do you know where Paul is, Jan?
I think, oh, there he is.
Paul with the big smile. It must be smile cam time.
Okay, so this is called the Asylum. It is the student cheering section of Loyalsock, and tonight everyone's wearing black, so it's the black hole. Someone's a giant dinosaur inflatable over here. It's all apparently women, and this is Century Dental Smile Cam. Everybody smile now, yeah!
That's a heck of a Casey Dental smile cam. Can Paul get out? I don't know. Stuck in the black hole. Well, Polizzi picked up the first down. It was a Blaze Alexander first down, in fact, and Montoursville keeps the drive alive. Reeder gets a carry, and he shoots up for 10. Give him a 10.5.
They just went with a nice misdirection play. You'll see that they're faking the speed to the left, and they come back to the halfback to the right. Reeder's got real nice speed there, nice burst.
Well, he averages 7.7 per carry, not too bad for the senior.
Shabby.
Oh, yeah, at a wingback position as well.
Not quite as good as Rocco's 11.1 yards, but we'll take that.
Yeah. Reeder getting a couple in a row.
Trying to go with that inside zone on that.
Montoursville now picking up the pace a little bit. They have used 2 timeouts, so they have 1 left as we near the 3-minute mark here in the Battle of the Bridge. The Warriors won it last year. They want to take it home again. Right now, they're on pace to do that. No one open. Oh, intercepted. Nice picked off by Armson, and he's got room to run. Armson picked off to the 11. A 39-yard play, and what an interception.
You see the offensive lineman they do a nice job of their bucket steps where they kick back to give ground to swallow up the defensive lineman, and number 11, Dane Armisen, does a tremendous job just stepping up in front of that ball. He's 6'4", 195 pounds.
And it looked like he saw that from the beginning. Do we have a flag down on the run? No. No flags, and they're inside the Allied Services red zone. A chance for Loyalsock to cut into this lead before the half. Well, this one's coming back. I think it's to Enriquez. He goes for a couple, but the flags came out early.
I think Coach Van Fleet was trying to draw the Montoursville Warriors off sides, and I think it just backfired on him with the motion call.
Look at procedure. Loyalsock.
Well, that hurts, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not that bad. They're just going with the outside zone right here. And you saw when they started the motion, the receiver up top of the screen, he just twitched.
Well, they're still inside the Allied Services red zone, and they still have 4 downs. 4-man front for, here comes the blitz. Kavanaugh to the end zone, well off the mark, but he had pressure in his face from Logan Ott.
And what they did on that play, Loyalsock's offense, Job Shure and Davion Hill, when you ask your running backs to take on defensive ends and outside linebackers, there's usually a mismatch, and that's just too much pressure for Chase Kavanaugh.
Well, it's a freshman trying to pick up a senior on the blitz. I mean, Hill did a nice job. He just couldn't physically match up with them. Hill to the outside. Gets some room. Oh, late, taken down real late, and that is a flag. A little mental mistake from the junior Signor. Didn't realize where he was. Nice
on
game
this,
from
they
Hill.
just, again, they come with that outside, the sweep, and this kid is a freshman, and he's just elusive. When talking to the coaching staff, they feel he's going to be, he is the real deal right now. And they just said it doesn't look like he's fast, but he is, and he's very elusive. That was their terms.
A dead ball. Personal foul. White. Third down.
So a break for Loyalsock, but still third and short. They can get a first down about the 2.
They're checking the sticks now.
It's third.
Yep.
Kavanaugh keeps it, loses the ball, but they called him down. I heard the whistles. They're going to say he's down at the 1 foot yard line. Not a touchdown, but it is
on this play. They run the option. They fake to the fullback, quarterback. He said, Kavanaugh said, I'm keeping it. Yeah, he reached. That ground caused the fumble on that, but the whistle did blow him down.
Blaze Alexander first down, and it could be a Blaze Alexander touchdown for Loyalsock.
That's exactly what the Lancers needed right now, to score a touchdown after a turnover. Sophomore kicker, number 30, Matt Barone, for the extra point.
The 31,
31,
actually.
excuse me, I apologize.
In. Yep, he's 14 of 17 PATs. Good snap, good hold, and it's blocked. Bennett shot right in like a cannon. An easy block, but the touchdown stands. It's 17-6, 1:57 remaining in the first half. So the turnover is converted into points, so that is a plus for Loyalsock. They're on the board before the half, and maybe a little confidence for them and a little momentum as well. There's Chase Kavanaugh, who takes it in for the rushing touchdown, his second rushing touchdown of the season.
Parents, save money on your car insurance. Quad A Driving Academy is a certified PennDOT third-party tester. We have helped over 10,000 new drivers become safe and confident licensed drivers. Save money by checking us out at quadadrive.com.
Bob-eyed Jan Seachak and Paul Grippy back on a beautiful night for high school football, Coach. We have been lucky the first 5 weeks. So hopefully I don't jinx it. Knock on wood if you're with me.
I am. Okay, Coach Gruden.
And we get some more beautiful weather the rest of the season. Next week, boy, what a great game we have up at Valley View. Berwick comes to town. Both most likely will be undefeated. Here we go. It's a Keystone College kickoff. It's a little short, it's touched, and it's still alive. And Montoursville will have it at the 31. They have one timeout left. You try to do something, or do you just say, okay, I got the 17-6 lead, I get the ball at the beginning of the third? Do you just say, I'm done, I'm going in?
Again, I don't know Coach Kiefer that well. He seems pretty intense, and I don't think he's going to say, hey, you know, let's just sit on it, because that's not how I perceive his personality.
Plus, a little momentum on the side of Loyalsock right now.
Absolutely. Their defense did a nice job on that last series to produce that turnover, which gave them the touchdown.
So Shearer back after throwing the interception, his third of the season. They easily give it to the sophomore running back, who brings it up for about 2, and they'll roll the clock on that.
And the junior, Corey Mayer, linebacker, with the stop.
Loyalsock only has 1 timeout as well to stop it.
Coach Kiefer, 69-34 in his 9th year. That's awesome. He's done a great job with this program, and he has them keep going every year.
They'll go to the air, and they'll go down the middle, and they'll hit Ott. Logan Ott inside Loyalsock territory, and a big play. What a pass from Hunter Shearer.
On this play, they go with the post pattern, which, again, against a cover 2 defense, the middle of the field's wide open, and he does a great job getting that ball down. They go no huddle.
About a 53-yard gain. Blaze Alexander first down, and a stop the clock to move the chain. So 1:14 and counting now. Shearer will just take it. Now they have 40 seconds to get the play in. Boy, when you have weapons like that, that's why you keep going, right?
I mean, how quick was that? One play, and what'd you say, 49 yards they just went covered? Again, that's one of the problems with the cover 2 when you run those inside slants. There's no one in the middle of the field.
Glunk's lucky he even tackled Odd, because if he didn't, it'd be a touchdown. Now the Lancer defense has their backs against the wall going into halftime. Shearer
Nice.
on a big hit, put on by Enriquez. Hello, Dylan Mall.
That was a tremendous read and hit, and it was a great form tackle by Enriquez on that. He just looks at his receiver, and that D-back just read that perfectly. Head down and across, wrap the arms, squeeze the elbows together.
Boy, it's a nice catch and a great job hanging on to the ball to the junior. Look at it again.
Look at this contact, boom.
Textbook hit, 3rd down. Oh, what read by Polizzi there. I think this is coming back. We might have a hold. Flag comes in. He takes it to the 10. Let's look at the flag, though. It is a 1st down.
Run off the right side. Worked out of bounds by Ryan Glenn. Penalty flag.
Yeah, holding. White.
So another drive stalled by a penalty for the Warriors.
On this, they go with the outside zone.
I think you saw it right there.
Right there, the receiver came in.
That might have been Dylan Ott as he pulled him down. And that will back up Montoursville outside the Allied Services red zone. At the 24, 3rd and long. Still that timeout on the board, 23 seconds left. It's safe to say you're in field goal range with Blankenhorn.
And he had, he kicked a 31-yarder earlier, so let's try to get 10 more yards to the middle of the field.
Here comes the blitz. Gare takes down Shearer. There's the timeout. What a play by the senior outside linebacker.
Ball goes all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Coach called the timeout a little later than I said. He called it with 2. It's going to be a field goal coming in on 4th down. But what a play by Gare. We have time to look at it again.
There's a dinosaur in the crowd. We have a dinosaur. T-Rex is out there, Bob.
Hope he didn't eat Paul.
He does have a nice Casey smile there, though.
Yes, he does. Good play, Coach. Good play. Touche. Okay, we're going to line this one up for Ian Blankenhorn, who already has a 31-yarder tonight.
So we're looking at what, 47 yards?
Yeah, a 47-yard kick by a high school player would be exceptional. I mean, seriously.
No,
you
it
don't see
really
that a
is.
lot.
I mean, and again, coach is good treating this as the playoff game.
Timeout. Oh, Coach Van Fleet's going to ice the kicker, and I love it as he comes up short. And he's laughing.
He's smiling about that.
Coach Van Fleet's walking on laughing. If he didn't call the timeout, it wouldn't have counted.
Yep.
He's trying to ice the kicker. So, you know, a little bit of play back and forth. You know?
And that's what it is. It's high school football, Friday night lights, and again, with a great crosstown rivalry, cross-bridge rivalry, why not? This is, again, it's a high school kid. 47 yards, Bob, you said earlier. That's phenomenal for a high school kid. So now he gets a chance to redeem himself.
Now what do you have to look out for? That he doesn't overkick it knowing he came up short?
To compensate. Again, it's just like golf. You don't want to change your swing. You don't want to change your steps.
Loyalsock playing it well. They have a player back to receive. Oh, he got more leg into it, and it's good. Justin Van Fleet's strategy backfires, and Montoursville puts a field goal on as the half comes to a close. Wow. What a great kick by Ian Blankenhorn. Paul Grippy may have to ask Justin Van Fleet about the timeout.
Paul, don't do that.
Paul's going to chase him down. And we'll try to get a word with Coach Van Fleet if he will stop with Paul. And I know Justin, he will. And Paul, when you get it, take it away.
Coach, they did jump out to a 14-0 lead. Now it's 20-6. But your defense stepped up to slow them down. But what would be the defensive focus in the second half?
Well, certainly up front, trying to win our one-on-one battles. We've got a couple matchups that we're looking to try to exploit, and we've been exploiting in the past couple series. You know, in addition, our linebackers coming downhill, our DBs just playing their coverage concepts, doing their jobs. In reality, we just have to be physical with them up front and then do our jobs in the back end. If there's a free runner, that's a problem. So certainly that's a correction that we needed to make. The first touchdown was a free runner, and we have to clean that up. But as we're making our way through the game plan, we've got to continue to find ways to try to exploit on offense. I think we found a couple things that we can work on. They'll obviously have adjustments to it. And again, it's about coming out with poise and aggressiveness.
Okay, and you'll start on defense in the third quarter. Thanks a lot, Coach. Coach Van Fleet from Loyalsock.
Whoa, what a half by Montoursville. They took the lead, as Paul said. They gave up a touchdown off an interception, scored after that. And, boy, they have a lot of momentum getting the ball into the third quarter. So at the half, Coach, Montoursville leads Loyalsock 20-6 in the Battle of the Bridge. Coming up, our Toyota halftime report. We'll have the Fox 56 News. Paul Grippy will have a special interview, and then Jan and I will be back with some stats and highlights.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Third quarter coming up, but halftime continues on Friday Night Rivals, and we are at Allied Services on the Morgan Highway in Scranton. I'm joined by Jim Bronya, the Vice President of Allied Services. Jim, Allied is just such a large presence in northeastern and central Pennsylvania, the largest employer in Lackawanna County. What makes it such a great place to work, and what kind of job opportunities are available?
Oh, I appreciate you identifying that. I would actually say that the diversity of our organization is one of our biggest strengths, and the diversity of our employees. There are so many opportunities from entry level out of high school and college to advanced nursing careers, and we have so many jobs in between that create opportunities for people, family sustaining jobs and wages, and really great benefits of working for a quality nonprofit.
So when you think of Allied, you usually think of rehabilitation services, and then that would mean you have therapists working here. But so much more than therapists, so many different kinds of versatile jobs.
Yeah, therapy is obviously what we're known for. When you have the best rehabilitation hospitals in the country, the best skilled in long-term care, the best outpatient therapy, in transitional rehab, sometimes we only think about physical therapists, and we have therapy aides, and we have assistants and occupational therapists in speech. But more importantly, going above and beyond that, we have some of the best nurses in the entire state of Pennsylvania. We have from entry-level nurse aides. We have CNA training right now, where we have a program where we will pay for you to become a CNA. We'll pay your training, and we'll also have a guaranteed job upon graduation from the program, which is really an outstanding opportunity for entry into the nursing fields. And of course, we have excellent LPNs, excellent registered nurses, and we have some that are such advanced certified rehabilitation nurses. We have nurse practitioners who work for our palliative program, and we have so many other advanced credentialed clinicians, but we have a diverse job opportunities for everyone.
And we know the main campus is located in Scranton, but Allied is spread out all over northeastern and central Pennsylvania, so job creation in many of the communities throughout this region. Allied is a nonprofit organization, and that's a nice little feature of working at Allied.
It absolutely is. I think when employees come to stay, and some of them, we had several employees that just recently retired, 50-year employees, and Allied is 61 years old. The reality is once you find the right niche and the right career path, there's growth internally. We have so many different unique opportunities as a nonprofit. For example, we have developmental positions where people working with adults with severe developmental challenges. We have unmarked and non-labeled behavioral health professionals working with people with mental illness in the community in transition in Pottsville and Luzerne County and Lackawanna County and in Bradford County. And then there's a variety of vocational training and employment opportunities where you're either working with someone with a disability to get them a job or a better quality of life, or really supporting people's needs. And I think as a nonprofit, we're always reinvesting in those facilities, our people, and our technology to have the best possible success.
Yeah, Allied Services helping the community in so many ways through offering employment and obviously the services that they provide. Jim Bronya, Vice President of Allied Services, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of our schedule this season. We'll be back with more Friday Night Rivals right here on MyTV WQMY.
The Toyota halftime report continues. We're back at Loyalsock. The score, the Warriors lead the Lancers 20-6, and we're at the half. I'm Bob Ide, that's Coach Jan Seedchak, enjoying the Battle of the Bridge here in Loyalsock. It has been really one-sided for most of that half. Montoursville had the great field position, and they cashed in a lot.
And Montoursville is running a very balanced attack. I believe they're 106 and 109 passing and rushing, and they've just been really tough on the offensive and defensive line.
Loyalsock, they did have one opportunity after an interception. They cashed it in, but we'll talk about what do they have to do in the second half.
And I said this earlier in the season, Loyalsock just has to regroup, take one play at a time, just get the first down, and then get another one, and get another one, and they're going to run out of real estate into the end zone.
Have you been impressed with the Warriors, as I have?
Absolutely. Bob, I alluded earlier to Scranton Prep over the last 2 years. They are as physical, and they are playing so tough. Hats off to Montoursville, but we got 24 more minutes of football.
We do, and it's ironic that Montoursville lost to Prep last year at the end of the season in the state playoffs. So let's take a look at those first half highlights, and it was, again, Montoursville using a short field. Hunter Shearer goes to Cam Wood for 24 yards in the first touchdown.
That was a nice tight end drag right there that he was left all alone. Nobody picked him up. There we go with quarterback sneak, again with the short field position that they had.
So he takes it in. It's 14-0. Then we start our field goals. Ian Blankenhorn, this one was a 31-yarder straight through. Completes another short drive. After an interception, Chase Cavanaugh takes it in, but the field goal, the extra point was no good. And then to half, one of the longest field goals of the season we've seen. Blankenhorn, on his second attempt, hits it from 47 yards.
After Coach Van Fleet intentionally iced him, and he missed that first one.
That's where we stand at the half. Coach alluded to some yardage, 211 total yards for Montoursville. That means the short field. We'll take a look at Loyalsock in a second. Paul now has Coach J.C. Kiefer.
Okay, Coach, up 14 at the half. Is that a comfortable up 14, or how do you feel about it?
Negative. No, absolutely not. Against this team and this group here, I don't think it's going to be comfortable at any point. So we got to keep playing football.
Highlight of the first half, at least for me, 47-yard field goal. Where do you get the confidence that send your kicker out there and let him try that?
I've got two really good kickers, and both of them can make a 47 to 50-yard field goal. And we had a lot of confidence in them, and that's just what they do.
And they came through today, and that's a nice weapon. Okay, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Yeah, it's a 14-point lead thanks to that 47-yard field goal at the end of the half, Bob.
Yeah, very impressive. Ian Blankenhorn, and we saw Colin Gorini as well with the kickoffs. And boy, that's special teams. He talks about the 3 tiers, right?
Yes, sir.
We've seen him this year from Montoursville. The special teams playing it big tonight.
And I mean, Coach said he has 2 kickers.
Yeah.
He is so fortunate, and he's got 64 kids on his roster. They've all gotten playing time, and that 1/3 of the game, Bob. And we said on that opening kickoff when they were the adrenaline's going and they jumped off sides. Those kids want to play football, and it's this. I'm just so impressed with both teams, believe it or not. I know Coach Van Fleet right now is a little bit down, but I think his kids are going to respond really well after the second half adjustments.
They will, but they will start on defense, so that is going to be cause for concern for the Lancers. Fayetteville, they need to stop a very high-powered offense from Montoursville that came in averaging over 48 points per game.
That's a tall task to try to stop at this point. And Coach Kiefer does not want his kids to rest on their laurels, and he even said it, this isn't enough of a cushion for us to relax at this point.
So we are getting set for the Keystone College kickoff. Matt Barone, the sophomore, will do the honors for the Lancers to get the second half underway, and a beautiful night for high school football in Lycoming County. The Battle of the Bridge, second half, underway. Short kick, taken up by an up man. And boy, giving Montoursville great field position again, right at the 47-yard line.
That was Michael Kinsey on the return. They were going with the squib kick to try to not give it to those deep guys in that threat of breaking one out.
So 52 yards away from Montoursville, this offense has really got it in gear. And really, they should have had a couple more touchdowns, but a couple holding calls cost them.
They stopped themselves, but again, give Loyalsock credit. They came up big on 2 of the series to keep this game close.
Inside handoff goes to Maul and caught Loyalsock a little bit off guard. He's up for about 8 yards.
That's the old Sally play out of the wing T with the wing back coming back inside, having the front side guard pull. Right side, everybody blocks to the left, and he comes and kicks out. Nice misdirection.
Now we're going a little bit fast-paced.
Again, another misdirection play there, Bob, with the motion man going to the right, and they give the ball coming back to the left.
Pelizzi about a yard, but hit hard by Gare. Unofficially, Pelizzi has almost 100 yards. We have about 15 carries now, about 99 yards.
Well, that brings his average down because he was coming in with the 11-yard average per carry.
To the fullback, he heads through behind a big offensive line, pulls forward, did Signor. I think he's got a first down. There'll be a Blaze Alexander first down.
And that's tough because the fullback, he crept up on that, so he wasn't at his normal 4-yard depth. He was at 2 yards, and for the linebackers to pick up on that is really difficult.
We're going to measure, though, just to play it safe. I'm going to say he has it. That's my educated guess from the spot. We are high atop the press box. I actually like this. One of my better views to see a game, to call a game.
I'd like it, and even if we had inclement weather right now, we would be okay because we're surrounded on 3 sides. And you said, Bob, Loyalsock, this is their field is what? This is going into year number 2.
Yeah, their turf.
Absolutely beautiful. It has nice cushioning.
Credit card. Bring the card out. Look at that. You got to get the credit card out. He's a credit card
alignment, baby.
There you saw it. Good job by our camera crew. So 4th down upcoming for Montoursville.
I think he's going to go for it, Bob. I'm just guessing here.
Oh. So Hunter Shear will bring them up, the senior quarterback. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds.
And if you look at the I backfield right now, how tight the fullback is, this is their formation when they go quarterback sneak also.
Oh, they moved. Montoursville moved. That's tough for a high school kid to in that spot, isn't it?
It is, and that's even tougher for as coaches because you know you're going to try to hard count them, and when you jump.
White.
Here it is. Looks like the left guard moved first.
47-yard line, 4th and 5.
So he sends out the punt team. So for now, the Loyalsock defense is holding them. Let's see what they will do.
Well,
Garini on to kick it.
One of the keys to the game, Coach said, was going to be field position, and he's had it offensively all night. Now he's going to pin them down deep. Make the Lancers go 90 yards or more.
Glunk back. And they'll kick it towards Schurer. He gets out of the way. Loyalsock will end up with really not good field position to get their first possession. Positive is they didn't give up any points. The negative is they have the ball at the 6-yard line.
At Quad A Driving Academy, our students do not have to go to the DMV to take their test. They test with us. Less stress means a higher pass rate. We're the only full-service driving training school able to serve Luzerne, Lackawanna, and nearby counties. Check us out at quadadrive.com.
Well, on Twitter, give credit where credit is due. Susquehanna Valley Sports pointed out the field position that Loyalsock started in that first half. Own 18, own 20, own 18, own 20, own 12. Montoursville 17 off the interception. Now, again, own 6. And there's the defense, shoots in. Kavanaugh going nowhere.
They are coming so fast and hard off the edge on this. There's nowhere for him to run. Look at that. They just do a nice job shutting that down and trying to get by big number 33. Cam is just tough. Cam Woods. 6'4", 240-pound senior.
And it's only his second year playing. They had to convince him to come out.
Wow.
Kavanaugh in his own end zone on 2nd and long. Surveying, he's just going to throw it up. Watkins, no, intercepted. Intercepted by number 2, and that is Maul.
Well, he was going, Chase Kavanaugh was going his go-to guy, Reese Watkins, on this. And Reese, again, Maul had great inside position on him. Good concentration, land on his back, and keep that ball up for the interception.
Junior's second INT of the season. That's a big one as they have the ball at the Lancer 34-yard line. Second interception of the night for Kavanaugh. Polizzi in. Now the story, as I see it on the field, we have a backup quarterback in. Is there something wrong with Hunter Shear?
I don't think that, I'm looking down the bench, I don't see it.
This is sophomore, Maddox Delana, 245 pounds, 6'2".
They call them tight ends or defensive tackles at some places.
He hands it up to Polizzi. Give him about 8 more.
On this play, again, they're going a lot of misdirection, trying to get that athleticism one-on-one, and Polizzi's doing a great job with the reads.
Shearer has his helmet off. He's next to the coach. He's next to one of the coaches. Looks fine to me. So a call by the head coach for the backup quarterback to come in. 3 straight handoffs, and Polizzi will have a first down.
They just run an ISO left here. And again, for everybody out there, an ISO play is an isolation where you're isolating the fullback on the linebacker and the tailback's just following him through.
Well, we knew Coach Kiefer was unconventional. He's just that type of character. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But to bring your backup quarterback in the middle of a game like this, you're up 14?
There's got to be more to it than that.
Something to talk about. Quick pitch to Polizzi. Bunch of blockers out in front, inside the 10 for a Blaze Alexander first down. Goes the sophomore.
And CJ Senor does an excellent job on this toss play, leading his tailback out there. Look at him take on the cornerback, just enough to get that Polizzi in there to get that extra yardage. Bob, with the protocol that's in place now for the safety of all the football players, he may have said he just didn't feel right or had a headache, and they're just better safe than sorry because it is only game 5.
Don't want to speculate. They're inside the Allied Services red zone, Montoursville. Off the turnover from Loyalsock. Some quick feet by Logan Ott to the 1.
Logan Ott down.
And on this play, again, quick toss. Look at this, pulling guard. It's just the power play coming up. Fullback leads up and through. And Logan Ott, does a tremendous job. We know he's a great running back. We just haven't seen enough of him this year. Maybe that's what coach was saving him for the second half to keep his legs fresh.
Smash mouth football. The line gives a push, and it's a Blaze Alexander touchdown for Montoursville. They convert the interception into points.
Here we go. There's that just the ISO play. And again, he did a great job. Ott did a great job. Instead of following fullback, he saw it back to the inside, and he just came in there for another 6 points.
Actually, Logan's first touchdown of the year because he really hasn't had to play that much. Blankenhorn's in for the PAT. It is up and it is through. So Montoursville extends their lead now to 21 with 17 left in the third.
27-6 Montoursville in the third, and we just had a Blaze Alexander touchdown. You've heard of the Blaze Alexander first down. Well, this is Blaze Alexander joining us here on the sideline. How are you enjoying the football game tonight?
What a great game. What a rivalry. This is big. It doesn't matter which team is really favored. This is a rivalry.
And is Lyle here behaving himself?
Oh, Lyle's the best. He wants to talk a little right now. Say something, Lyle.
Come on, Lyle, give us some insight on football. Well, we're certainly grateful for your sponsoring our football broadcasts all season, and everything you do for us wouldn't be possible without you. But football and high school football is important to you. What are your memories like?
Well, I played for Mount Carmel, and it was great. We had a rivalry like this with Shamokin, and it was the biggest game of the century, biggest game of the year all time. You know, Lyle's going out for football. He's going to play a game called dog ball. They call it dodgeball. It's going to be dog ball, though.
I see a Disney movie coming out of this. This dog is, get him on the football field. He can't stand still. He just wants to go out there and knock some heads, doesn't he?
Well, it's treat time, actually. Lyle would run around this field with these players and have a grand time if we let him loose. This is the greatest. He is the greatest little dog in the world, aren't you, Lyle?
All right. So how old is Lyle, and what kind of dog is he?
Lyle is 4. I'm not a mixture of Australian, a miniature Australian.
Miniature Australian. Okay. All right. Well, nice to meet you, Lyle. And
Lyle, remember Lyle, the talking dog. He knows that the price is always the lowest guaranteed at Blaze Alexander.
All right, so there you go, right from the dog's mouth. So thank you so much, Blaze Alexander, for giving us a couple of minutes.
You're welcome.
And supporting us all season long.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Bob,
Great game
from
here.
Blaze and Lyle, back up to you.
I am familiar with Lyle, and thank you, Blaze, not only for your sponsorship or coming out to tonight's game. Love Lyle. Love him. Back on the field. Loyalsock's going the wrong way, Coach.
Not what Coach Van Fleet wants. Oh, boy.
Here comes that defense and another sack on Kavanaugh.
Well, number 77 is just getting physically outmatched right now. He's a big kid. He's just going to get better. He's a sophomore, Brendan Hartman. But when you've got number 47 coming at you, number 33 from Montoursville, those are some dudes out there.
Well, there's a reason Montoursville's ranked 6th in the state and working their way up.
I would imagine if it keeps going like this, it'll be number 5.
Lancers having a tough time on offense this evening. To try a draw. And the freshman can't go anywhere. Cam Wood on the stop. And this defense that came in just giving up 9 points per game.
If we watch this, watch Cam Wood on this, the way he plays this as a defensive lineman. We stress all the time, hands and feet. When your feet are moving, your hands have to be moving. And he does a great job separating the offensive line, gets through his gap, and makes the tackle.
They went -22 on that series.
That's not on any call card that any coach has.
Nope. Gare gets a high kick away, and they'll call for the fair catch. Will Young inside Lancer territory once again for Montoursville.
Warriors take over, 1st and 10.
Montoursville won it last year at home. Now looks like they're trying to take it home again. And back out comes the backup quarterback again. Delena.
Coach is over talking to Hunter right now, so I'd love to be a fly on Hunter's shoulder pads to find out what's going on.
Polizzi, that's a big hit for Loyalsock in the backfield.
That was
Hunter
Aiden Gare. Yep.
Aiden, yep. Aiden Gare.
Aiden Gare, back to the 46-yard line. 2nd down, Warriors.
Aiden Gare did a tremendous job taking a block on and then making that tackle. Again, we're saying, Bob, that it's a backup quarterback in there, but that kid is a physical specimen. And I know right now they've just been handing it off to their able backfield.
Right.
But I think he's going to be a big kid if he starts running the ball.
First pass for the sophomore. The rush is on. He's going to just lay it up. And just out of the reach, the closest player was Ryan Glunt, the freshman.
Yeah, but there were 2 Lancer defenders back there. Number 9 was back there doing a nice job. Again, look at the pass rush from the Lancers. That's a nice job by their D-line.
Yeah, that's Perlente. Again, we've called his name a bunch tonight in the backfield. 2nd and long on the way. We have a flag. We have a holding. Oh, against Loyalsock. So a break for the Warriors. They bring it up to the 35-yard line, Coach. On the hold. So it'll be 2nd and short coming up.
Again, that we talked earlier about that short field that Loyalsock has been giving Montoursville. Not what you want to do.
They're going to wide receiver pass. Oh, it's in and out of the hands of Young. He looks hurt as Dylan Bennett put it up.
They're starting to show a little bit. Here we go with it. Set up like a speed sweep. He stops, pulls up. He had him beat too.
He had it in his hands.
He got behind Enriquez on that one. He had him by 2 steps.
He comes off limping. Does Dylan Young, number 4 after that. A lot of things happening on the field. Ott shoots through with speed and more. Inside the 30 he goes.
Montoursville sending a message for anybody that's scouting, saying we can play power smash mouth football, we can go misdirection. On this one, just their base toss play. Again, with the fullback lead and CJ doing a nice job. Ott, I think, again, we knew he was going to play in the second half. I think is going to be his strong legs. It's going to wear him out, the Lancers.
These tailbacks look like they're shot out of a cannon, aren't they?
They are not. They're not hesitating. They
No.
are going, Bob. As you said, they just from the get start.
Showing some great speed. And I think the Lancer faithful, a bit of shock on this side of the field.
It is awful quiet,
Yeah,
but
not much to cheer about.
and I think the Lancers, Loyalsock faithful, understands that Montoursville has a special team this year. Even though it's the rivalry, I'm sure that at the end of the day, and if Montoursville has their way going deep into the playoffs, I think Loyalsock will be cheering them on also.
So after that Blaze Alexander first down, they bring it up to the 25. We're under 2 minutes to play in the third. And a timeout called by the Warriors.
In the third quarter, Warriors call timeout.
So we have a break in the action down on the field at 25, 1:37 left in the third quarter. It really was a quarter, Jan, that started out. Loyalsock stopped Montoursville on their opening possession. Had an opportunity, but the interception really killed that.
It killed it, and then their offense has not been productive at all tonight. The last series, they went backwards 22 yards.
41, Hughesville 7, third quarter.
Let's see what the Lancers have on tap the rest of the way. Next week, they'll travel to Sealands Grove, who's playing Berwick tonight. They were losing that. Mifflinburg, winning record. They have Milton, Warrior Run, and then they end with South Williamsport. And South Williamsport right now undefeated as well.
And that's another crosstown rivalry for them. Not as big as tonight, but they've got a pretty tough schedule coming up here. I don't know much about Milton. We know Mifflinburg. Warrior Run has been playing really tough.
Yeah.
And they gave Montoursville fits last week, so not easy.
Well, the Black Hole faithful still cheering as part of the Casey Dental Smile Cam. They're trying to cheer on their team. Odd off the left-hand side. Up for a couple after the timeout.
Brought down by Malachi Palante for the Lancers at the 21-yard line.
They just ran what their bread and butter play, their ISO play.
First down, Warriors.
I should say on the opposite side that we're looking at, the Montoursville sidelines, behind them, the fans, it's wall-to-wall people.
Around the entire stadium.
Around almost the whole stadium. There must be almost 4,000 to 5,000 people here. Gonna try Logan Ott, the lefty. He connects with Dylan Young, and it's a Blaze Alexander Montoursville touchdown for 21 yards.
There we go with the toss pass on this. We go toss left, stops, pulls, a left-handed, going left. That's a pretty easy pass for him. Nice job, good call for Montoursville.
We don't need the sophomore to throw it. We'll have the wide receivers throw it, or the running backs, right?
Well,
it still counts.
It does. It's still 6 points.
Blankenhorn's PAT is up and through, and the onslaught from Montoursville continues.
And interesting, Hunter Shearer was the holder.
coach's decision to bring in the backup quarterback. Maybe he didn't like something he saw from Hunter Shear, which is very surprising midway through this game. So they had Bennett throw a pass, then they had Logan Ott throw a pass.
Yep. As I said, maybe coach is sending a message to the upcoming teams saying, look, we're going to do it all. We can do it all.
Okay, there is the shot of Hunter Shear, the second-year starter at least, who threw for over 2,200 yards last year. With his helmet on his head, he's been pulled from this game for some reason. Another Keystone College kickoff on the way for the Warriors. This game may be out of reach, Coach, with the way Montoursville is playing.
Well, I would like to ask Coach Kiefer now if he feels that he can breathe a little bit at this point.
Yeah.
But I know all football coaches will say, nope, we still have another 12 minutes and 11 seconds to go and anything can happen.
We do some scores from around District 4 after this. Gorini going to boot this one through. The live ball. And Loyalsock will have it up past the 30-yard line as the offense comes back on. And here's our schedule, the rest of the year. Yeah, almost the rest of the year coming up. A couple Berwick games in there. Why not? They're undefeated. Next week, they'll be at Valley View. Then we have Trail 04, the #1 ranked team in the state in Class A. Then we'll head to Walpaw, take on Wilkes-Barre, first look at Wilkes-Barre area, taking on the Buckhorns. Then we'll see what will be the Battle of the Valley when Berwick takes on Dallas.
That'll be, again, that's the Wyoming Valley Conference playoff implications right there for the top seed.
Kavanaugh hands it off to Enriquez, and he is quickly put down, a couple of yards on that. As I mentioned, a couple scores. Southern Columbia has not given up any points yet. This year, they beat Central tonight. They're leading Central 62-0. Danville leads Milton 35-12, and North Schuylkill leading Mount Carmel area now 21-17. The Red Tornadoes had led that game early on.
Coach Roth might be upset that they missed an extra point.
Did they, though? Did they? Kavanaugh back to the line of scrimmage. Let's talk about Loyalsock, and we'll do that in the fourth quarter. 3 in the book in the Battle of the Bridge. And it looks right now the bridge is staying on the other side of the Loyalsock Creek.
Okay, get ready to start the fourth quarter here. It's 34-6, Montoursville with the lead, but it's been a special night all the way around here at Robins Stadium because both sides have come together uniting for a cause, and it's called Team Kaz, and it's to benefit a young lady named Maria Kazmaier. She's been diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer. So I'm joined by Justin Kazmaier, her husband, and Rachel Baker doing all the fundraising tonight. So what were some of the things we did to raise money here tonight?
So tonight we were selling some Katzmaier wristbands and some t-shirts, Team Cats. And we had a donation bucket out, as well as we raffled off the 2 game balls for tonight.
And there's also a GoFundMe page, and that's called Kazmaier Crew, and Crew is with the K. Where are we at as far as money raised on the GoFundMe page?
So we're a little over $5,000 as of today.
Okay, and Justin is her husband. Maria got this diagnosis, stage 4 cervical cancer. How did it impact you and your family?
Oh my gosh, I mean, when you hear news like that and you think that, you know, a life could be lost here, someone that you love is close to you, it's absolutely shocking. Like, there's really no words to describe it.
And what's been the reaction from the community and the people around here?
They've been amazing. I mean, the overall support, so many people reaching out and offering their help, you know, in any way they can, whether, you know, be cooking meals or, you know, donations, helping to kids. It's been unreal. Everybody's been like pitching in.
Yeah, people step up. You see the goodness in people. Maria attended Montoursville, now lives in the Loyalsock community, and such an amazing outpouring for a young lady, a wife, a mother.
Why do so many people want to come and support Maria?
Maria's an amazing person. She has always done so much for everybody, and she gives back to her community all the time. She works in the school district with these kids, a lot of them on the sideline here. So she's just inspired so many people.
Yeah, okay, so we wish her the best of luck in her fight against cancer. And again, on the GoFundMe page, it's Kazmaier Crew, and Crew is with the K, so Kazmaier Crew, trying to raise money to help Maria Kazmaier. You can be a part of Team Kaz like everyone here tonight. Bob, it puts the football game in a better perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, football is just football, Coach, and that's real life.
It's just a game, and sometimes we lose sight of what's really important.
Good luck to Maria, and our best wishes to her as Hunter Shear is back in the game. So obviously, we just wanted to see a little bit of the sophomore, because he's starting him into the fourth quarter. Well, for Loyalsock, it might be back to the drawing boards, a little wake-up call. About to pick up their, I think, second loss of the season. And two very good teams in 3A. Shear back. He's had that one tipped from behind as Perlente got a hand on it. We talked about him all night.
We have said his name quite a few times, and his motor's still going in the fourth quarter. He has not given up, and that would be an inspiration for this team to rally around him to start giving that kind of effort.
Next week, the Warriors will be on the road again. They take on Milton. So a third down on the way. And we have a timeout called. The offensive coordinator didn't like something for the Warriors. 10:25 left in the game.
Warriors call timeout.
Talked about the fans from Montoursville, and as we scan the crowd, there's people all over with blankets into the field, and it's just wall to wall, blue and gold.
But this is a great high school atmosphere. We knew coming in that this was such a great rivalry game, the Battle of the Bridge, and to see this many people on a Friday night, and again, for the cause, for the family out here, that's just great for the mayor's family there.
And this is the best. This is the best view we have. Let's have a party and watch a football game.
I'll tell you, I don't know. Maybe they charge admission for that.
I don't know.
Where's Paul Grippy right now?
Well, I don't know. He's trying to get to that house, I guarantee you. Trying to get over to that house. They do it right here in Loyalsock, guaranteed. They do it right. So after the timeout, we come back on a third down play. Paul showed us the trophy that they will get, part of the Battle of the Bridge. You'll also get our Friday Night Rivals trophy as well. So, big night. Shear gets it off. Connects with Bennett, and there are the trophies that both these teams will take home tonight. I think they're pretty nice to hang on your mantle or wherever you're going to put those in the school.
Well, you have them in the front lobby. You got two beautiful trophies right there. Friday night champion one for this evening's game, and that Battle of the Bridge, which is being really coveted by both schools.
Can you believe we're midway through the season already? It goes so fast.
It really is, Bob. And we've had great football games that we've broadcast on Friday Night Rivals.
So it was a Blaze Alexander first down. This is Jacob Reeder on the sweep up to the 45.
Jacob Reeder.
That was a great run by Reeder. I liked how he could stop. He planted on that right foot, cut back into the left to get that extra 2 yards.
Just so many weapons for those Warriors.
How do you defend them? I mean, if I was still coaching, you'd say, okay, let's take this one out of the equation, but they got 3 other kids. So that makes it a really tough evening for any defensive coordinator to try to do that.
So So the senior going to let the clock roll down. Why not? Very smart to give it to the sophomore. Polizzi gets the quarter and more. He's adding on to his stats. He's well over 100. Is the sophomore, Rocco Polizzi.
On this, they just go with that outside sweep. And look at this burst he has. He stumbles, and he still manages to get 12 yards while keeping his balance.
Williams finally made the tackle, but inside Lancer territory one more time for the Warriors. Up 28. Blaze Alexander, first down. Reeder through the big hole. Shooting through up to the 31.
They go with their misdirection play again, set up the jet sweep to the right, and they go cut back left. You see Reeder takes that jab step to the right, turns his shoulders right, cuts back left. Reminds me of Wes Welker in there running, the way how quick he is and how strong he is when he's running.
We have to be tougher. That's what Coach Kiefer preached in the offseason after getting beat up by Scranton Prep and really out-physicaled them.
And they did.
The Cavaliers
last year. They did, and they were outmanned last year by a very good Scranton Prep team.
Well, this year they want revenge. They're looking not only for district championships, they want to get into states. But I tell you, this 3A is going to be tough. We looked at the standings. It's not going to be easy into the playoffs.
And we're only looking right here in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We're not looking at the states, even though they're number 5. There he goes. Odd does a great job in there, being patient, running, and he's just a strong kid. Bob, you said at the end of last year when they lost, they were back in the weight room that Monday, and Coach preached at that point, never again. We are not. We control that destiny.
Warriors milking the clock. Under 7:40 to play in this game. Off to Jacob Reeder again. And
Corey Mayer on the stop.
Travis Johnson gets up slow.
There you come in inside, and there's Corey Mayer. He took on the block, and he what we call wrong shouldered it. He wrong armed it. He took it with his outside arm, which kept his inside arm free, and that's where the running back went.
So it's a Blaze Alexander first down, and they're in the Allied Services red zone. And we'll take a break. 7:18 remaining in the Battle of the Bridge. It's been all Montoursville tonight. We're back, winding down this game, the Battle of the Bridge. And Loyalsock Lunatics, a little bit subdued at this point as their team trails 34-6. Bye-bye, Jan Sichak, Paul Grippy in Lycoming County. And, coming in, we thought it may be a little bit closer, but this isn't really a surprise that the Warriors have such a lead.
Not with it being number 6 in the state at this point, and there he goes.
Jacob Reeder in for a Blaze Alexander touchdown. 20 yards. His, I believe, second of the night.
It is right here. It's just that outside zone, outside power. Joel Felipa, he was the one that led block for it. And he's was the workhorse for this series. Jacob has been, and he's done a tremendous job running the ball.
A lot of weapons we talked about, and Reeder adds on to that. And again, Hunter Shear didn't play most of the third, doesn't have to throw the ball with such a dominant rushing attack. Blankenhorn is up and through. 41-6 your score, 7:10 remaining in this game, and the Bridge Trophy heading back, I believe, pretty sure, to the Warriors.
Yeah, and Bob, you were saying they have so many weapons. They have Logan Ott, Rocco Polizzi, Jacob Reeder, Dylan Mall, Cam Wood, Dylan Young. Dylan Bennett. It's just they are very fortunate, but they've worked so hard to get here, and they're not going to be happy with just being at the end of the night being 5-0 or 6-0.
Let's talk about Loyalsock. They're 3-1. They're going to fall to 3-2. They've been dominated by a Montoursville defense that's coming only giving up 9 points per game, and you can see why. What do they have to do better, you think, the rest of the season?
I think they're just, right now, they're going to have to just have short memory. They're going to have that memory loss, and say, all right, yeah, we were beat by a very great team across the bridge, but we have to set our sights on Milton, which is our next opponent. And they know that they can play with
Selinsgrove.
Oh, Selinsgrove. Excuse me.
Montoursville's playing Milton. Go ahead.
And no,
Your
but
point is taken.
the Seals are actually in a down mode. They've been strong for so many years, but they played a tough game tonight with Berwick. So I'm not sure.
Plus you have to go on the road.
And they're going on the road. And I think I believe it could be like another rivalry for them. Not as close as this, but.
So the Keystone College kickoff from Gorini is going to take a bounce into the end zone, and we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line for Loyalsock.
It rolls in to the end zone for a touchback.
Guys, everyone.
Answers take over first and 10 at the 20.
Attention, DirecTV and UVerse subscribers. You could soon lose your favorite MyTV shows. While negotiations continue, call AT&T at 833-NO2ATT and tweet them at ATT Help. Tell them to keep MyTV on their channel lineups.
So that offense comes back out. It was an offense coming in that averaged 29 points per game. And they had some season highs against Shikellamy this year. 199 yards on the ground and 218 through the air. But their lows were against who they lost to, North Schuylkill coming in. They only passed for 186 yards and ran for 70 in that game. I should say they passed for 186, a low for Danville versus Danville, which they beat by 3, and then they only ran for 70 yards against North Schuylkill. So those are the lows coming in for Loyalsock.
And Loyalsock came into a very stout defense from Montoursville. And we haven't seen them on film all year, and they just really are outmanned right now. And what's kind of scary is that it's such that close rivalry. Every football coach is getting in the weight room, and they're going to remember this game. And they're going to say, this is one that we're going to turn our season around now for.
Well, they have a freshman tailback, a junior quarterback. I see one senior on the offensive line. The cupboard's not bare, and we're not looking towards next year yet. I mean, it's midway through this season. There's still a lot of this season. These kids will get better. They're going to grow. They're young right now, right?
And Loyalsock has 53 kids on their roster, which is, again, a tribute to the coaching staff and this district that they believe in the football team, and this program is going to be getting better.
It's just one game. It didn't go their way. Back to work tomorrow or Sunday. As Hill tries to take it in the middle, and that defense is there again. Cam Wood shooting in.
And a freshman running back who's had brilliant success throughout this season thus far. To come across this team, he's going to remember this, and he's going to learn from it. He's just going to keep getting better and better.
Second and 10.
Field position has been dominated by Montoursville tonight. Loyalsock just has not had it. Kavanaugh chased again. And a flag comes in behind him. Reeder may be getting a penalty. Or Bennett on Watkins. They've done a nice job on Watkins, their leading receiver tonight, has Montoursville secondary.
They really have. The defensive front, though, is given so much pressure that he does not have time.
It will be pass interference against the Warriors.
Chase Kavanaugh has not had the luxury of being comfortable back there to throw. That's why they keep rolling them right, rolling them left, trying to buy some time. But their secondary coverage is like a blanket out here.
Loyalsock will get a Blaze Alexander first down off of the pass interference and continue this drive. Hill with a stutter step and then gets tripped up. And he's shaken up as he may have fallen on his hand.
And neither coach at this point has put any substitutions in. They're keeping their starters in there.
Well, the Montoursville defense, I mean, you have to look at the Hughesville game for their lows. They only gave up -3 yards rushing, 13 yards passing in that game. That's their low, but really, they played well tonight, and they've held this Loyalsock offense in check.
And Loyalsock's offense, they have those weapons back there, but they just, again, my personal opinion, they're young, and they are going to be a much better team, more formidable in the future. And that's going to start next week when they get on the road to go down to Schick, or Selinsgrove, excuse me.
Corey Mayer, the junior, number 7, gets a carry. He's up to the 40, and the punt team will come on for Loyalsock. And we're under 5 to play in the Battle of the Bridge. Loyalsock won it 2 years in a row in 16 and 17. Montoursville will take 2 in a row now, 18 and 19. But most of the time, this is a back and forth series. These are 2 teams that are going to be very good into the future.
They are, and
especially with the numbers they have on the sidelines.
And the way that both these coaches approach the game and how they want whole athletes, they want the student athletes, they want their kids to be productive in the classroom, on the field, and more importantly, to be great young men contributing to both these great communities in the future.
So the Cross Creek Rivals Battle of the Bridge Trophy sitting idle right now. And it will add Montoursville as a winner onto that at the completion of this game. Shear hands it off.
Now the subs are starting to come in now.
Yep. James Betkowski is a freshman. He gets a carry. It's Coach Kiefer, and he'll pick up his 70th win as the head coach, his 9th season. Of course, they were the champs last year in District 4, and they were champs a few years ago, some will remember, Double-A, and they also gave Southern Columbia back in the day one of the greatest games ever in District 4 history.
Wow, nice burst.
Big burst from the freshman.
Well, it's hit.
Betkowski, like Batman.
Bob, I'm going to go back to what you said. Here we go. We just go toss left, and he tucks the ball in his left hand. Good coaching, and he just turns it on. And you said about these programs that are going to continue. Here's another freshman threat that they have, that they're waiting. He's waiting patiently, and he wants to show the coaches and everybody in their community that he can play football.
Yeah, how about the 2 backs they'll have? I mean, Pelizzi and Betkowski. And they had a Betkowski a couple years ago. Pretty good running back himself. Shear takes a knee, and that should just about do it for this 2019 version of the Battle of the Bridge. Students lining up on the Warriors sidelines. And some personal foul there. You saw the referee call that, Tom Gibble. Not the game we might have expected, but probably one of the better 3A teams in the state that we will see this season.
Well, we were able to preview the top 5 team in the state, and they didn't disappoint. And the way that they ran their balanced attack, pass and run, and how they have the misdirection, the power game, as I said earlier, they're just sending notice out saying, look, you have to defend all these weapons we have. Good luck.
So that's our final Blaze Alexander first down of the evening, I would think. This one should go into the books as a 41-6 victory for Montoursville, who will go to 5-0 on the season. Loyalsock will drop to 3-2, back to the drawing board for both teams. But the version of the bridge game will go to the Warriors for the second year in a row. Paul will get to our Allied Services players of the game. He'll also talk to Coach Kiefer as well. Hunter Shear will take a knee, and that will do it. This one's in the books. Montoursville beats their rivals 41-6. And the Bridge Trophy is staying on that side of the creek.
Bob, my hat's off to both these communities for doing what they do and how well this rivalry is done. It's really refreshing to see this kind of rivalry, like you said, Bob, in the middle of the season.
So 2 trophies to be given out to the Warriors as J.C. Kiefer leads the line, and he'll have one up on his neighbor, Justin Van Fleet.
You said what, their kids go to school together, their kids play ball together, and
they're good friends.
And 2 streets apart, I believe you said.
Not that far, yep. So both coaches will talk about this, I'm sure, over the weekend while they cut the grass or something.
Maybe they had a bet. The loser has to cut the grass.
There you go. There you go. So an exciting one here in Loyalsock. We appreciate the administration welcoming us here into this community. And Paul Grippy has one of our Allied Services players of the game.
Hey, Bob, I have Jacob Reeder. And not just that, you beat Loyalsock. What's it mean that you beat them by this kind of score?
Oh, it means everything to us. This is the game that we look forward to every year. It's our rivalry game. They're right here across the bridge. This is the game we look forward to, and to be able to put it to them just like that, oh, it's such a good feeling.
What worked particularly well for the offense?
Just pounding the rock. That's what we do every game. We just pound the rock, pound the rock. Rocco Polizzi, man. We can put him in anywhere, anytime, and we just get yardage. And every once in a while, we break a play, and that's how we score.
Okay, thank you. Jacob Reeder, Allied Services Player of the Game. And I have Cameron Wood, an Allied Services Player of the Game. Tell me about the lead you jumped out to. You got the first touchdown. What worked well right from the start in the first quarter?
Everything, I think. I mean, we just came out with a good intensity. We just took it to them up on the line of scrimmage, opened up everything else.
Okay. Now you guys, halfway through the season, undefeated, and you beat a good Loyalsock team by this kind of score. What does that say about you guys?
I think it says a lot. I think we just keep getting better each week. Last week we kind of had a step back, but it was nice to come back out this week and then take a big step forward.
Okay, you're going to get a nice bridge trophy in a moment, but for now, Allied Services Friday Night Rivals trophy for beating Loyalsock. Congratulations to Montoursville.
Thank you.
Thanks to Cam Wood and to Jacob Reeder as they will head over to give the trophies out. And a big win for Montoursville quickly. One quick thing about Loyalsock, they're not down. They still have a long season to go.
We still have 4 games left in the year. So these guys, they know what's going on. And they both coaching staff, especially Loyalsock, they're veterans. They know what they have to do. They're going to talk to their kids and say, look, we lost to a good team, a very good team, and we just have to regroup and get ready for next week.
And for Montoursville, they'll head to Milton undefeated, and things are rolling their way.
And you know, Coach Kiefer, you talked to him before the game, and every coach is nervous, but he had that going. But the intensity that he had, and it permeated into his team.
It did permeate into his team. A nice word there, and they'll talk to his team. And there you see the trophy, the Bridge Trophy, and they'll add on the Friday Night Rivals one as well. So that'll do it for us here from Loyalsock. A big win for the Warriors. They take home the Battle of the Bridge 2019. The final score 41-6 for the entire Fox 56 sports crew. For Paul Grippy, for Jan Sechak, this is Bob Hyde saying so long.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.